Hello everyone. I have some really cool messages for you guys today. Let's go ahead first and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. One more. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. All right, let's see what we have for today. I'm going to roll the die and show you the pictures. I had really cool messages with the pictures coming up in the Metatron deck, so I might have to pull out some of the cards that came up today to show you the energy. It was really cool. I have two quick union reads and a twin flame read, the one in front of you, and there's a picture from this read I want to show you too. Some very interesting energies. So for the twin flames, today is November 12th, 2021. We have the South Node again, which is letting go of Sagittarius expansion energies, like needing to put the brake on at times. And we have the number 6, which is love, family, and community, as well as the lovers. It's also June, which is Gemini going into, Gemini going into Cancer. So home and family. And then we have Libra over here as well. So Libra, Gemini, which also could be the twins energy, but love, home, family, community, the lovers, and letting go again still of the South Node, Sagittarius, which is about Jupiter and expansion and knowledge. And it's great to be expansive, but there needs to be a balance there. So again, we're still letting go of Sagittarius energies. It lasts in the South Node till January or February. I forget which month it actually leaves. And so we have a lot of air again here, with Libra as balance as well. And then Gemini, which is the twins, which again is that balancing between twins. So there's a lot about balancing here and letting go of the need to expand exponentially. There's time to contract as well. You need to do both. So today is the 12th. And so the 12 is the hanging man, which is about wisdom. It's also about seeing new perspectives. It's also about hanging out with people and just being still and just enjoying each other's presence for no reason at all. Let's see where I have turned to. Let's see. So I lose my page. Okay, so anyway, we're at the 28 today, which is the twin flames. It's the choice of path, the two flames, and the 12 of the hanging man. So again, the Jesus, Mary, Magdalene template comes up, and that does come up in the read today. A message was just left on my phone with a 44 number on it. I have no idea what it is, but the 44 came up just there. It's 44 on the clock as well, which is that energy of mastery. So grounding, integrating, mastering, especially allowing yourself to receive love. And it's 3:44 on my clock right now, which is the Empress and that energy. And then we have the Emperor over here with 4 as the clock spins here, with 10 as well, which is that Wheel of Fortune, and the turn for the better going into the 12, 11, 12, which is justice, and then the hanging man. So let me show you the pictures here and get right into the cards. So I'm showing you my Metatron read from this morning because that's a really cool message came up from this, which I'm going to share with you. And I wanted you to see some of the pictures, especially here, like you'll see the Christ energy here, and this is like the Mary Magdalene energy side by side, along with the key on the path, and then the electromagnetic grid. What else did I want to show you from that? Well, as it comes up, I'll show you, because the messages are really cool. Then we have the message of the day from today I'm going to give you first. So I'm going to give you those two messages first from today. And then I'll give you the message of the day from yesterday. This is last night. And then we have the two union reads. This is the first union read. They're both quick ones. This is the first union read. For those of you not familiar, it's 3D, 4D, 5D right now. Sometimes I'll do 4, 5, 6, but these are both 3D, 4D, 5D. Incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine, the feminine on the left, masculine on the right. The bridge between them in the center, underlying energies, closing energies. And this is the second union read. I just felt like doing another one quickly to see if there's a different energy coming in. And then here's the read in front of you, which is a more general twin flame read. They're both general reads, but the first one is about physical union. This is more about just the general aspects of the twin flames. And then here's the full 7-deck read on the table that you see now. And this is a close-up of right here on the table, right? The Two of Wands, the twin flames card is right there, and the cards that came up around it. You see the two both kind of look at longing for each other, missing their, this is the Hermit missing their flame, and the Six of Cups, like longing for the past, okay? So it's the same energy of both the masculine and the feminine here. And then the way it comes up with all of the cards on it is the same spot. So I want you to see the other cards, because the Lovers is reversed ×2 right here. But the Two of Cups is up right here. And you can just look at the other cards, and we'll get to that in the read as well. And yeah, all right, so let's get going. So, and I was doing lots of cleaning again today. I was like washing the walls down in the basement, which I never normally do that stuff. I don't like to go down to the basement that much because I don't use the room these days because my kids are gone. So, yeah, getting some, I was going to go for a jog, but since I had to change my house filter for the first time. I got a water filter put on the house line, not just the refrigerator. And it was the first time I had to change the filter. And it's, a big deal because the water all comes out and you have to have a bucket underneath. And I wasn't, sure I'd be able to get it all back together. And I'm still not sure I put it in the right way. I know I got it twisted on there the right way. But we'll see. Right? So there's a first for everything. But anyway, that led into doing some cleaning downstairs, which was good because I ended up getting a nice little workout from that. So, let's see, Metatron's read. So my messages of the day from this morning, we're starting up with the underlying energies of, and actually the color green was in underlying energies both this morning and yesterday morning, which is the heart energy, but also the energy of being green. And healing was also coming up in the underlying energies, allowing yourself healing, like imagining someone with their hand above your head and just that golden white light coming down and flowing through you, healing you. As well as perhaps somebody else's idea was imagining a magnet above your head pulling out all the things that shouldn't be in you, which I love that one because it's really easy to visualize. So the messages were coming up. The electromagnetic grid was coming up, and the grid work for twin flames. We sometimes will travel to do grid work and shift energies in another location, and also Akashic records to examine for new perspectives, and yellow is coming up for joy. Was there anything else that came up? No, I think it was just green and yellow today as the main colors. So, the key to the path of the electromagnetic field, and electromagnetic is EM, which is the letter M, which I always refer to as the Pleiadian feminine god, Imana. I always refer to as M, which can be like a James Bond thing too. But the field there, looking in the Akashic books, and then being open to pollinate, right, to plant those new seeds as we go into winter, which then will come out in the spring. The path of the higher love, the twin flame grid is coming up as the rod, and the Akash coming up as the staff. The twins being wise and hanging out, and there's that hanging man energy, hanging out and making magic. With focus on chakras, rainbows, and wings, and then I sneezed. And then priority was coming up. So the prior was coming up, as in like in the Da Vinci Code, the priory. That came up, as well as there was a doctor I worked with a long time ago who passed away. He was not only a doctor, but he also served in the military. And he passed away when he was in a war zone. So that was many, many years ago. But for some reason, his name was Pryor as well, John Pryor. So he came up as well. So maybe I was supposed to tell you his story. He was a wonderful person. I was only able to work with him for a short time, but he was an amazing person to work with. So then I was getting run, hermit, run, like run, forest, run, of the new dawn, of destiny, and a turn for the better, a new day has dawned. So then, and it was funny because as I wrote run, hermit, run on the clock, it was 9:09, which is 2 hermits running. And then it went to 9:10, which again is the new dawn because it's begin again on the clock. So again, the leadership of the Emerald Christed Order was coming up, and the releasing of the untapped energy from your Kundalini of the Wounded Warrior, which we're leaving behind, as the 44 Atlas with the weight of the world upon their shoulders, and grounding it, integrating, and mastering, or GIM, or GIM for short. The lighthouse on the big rock is coming up as the sword in the stone. And I want to show you the picture of that card. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. It's here somewhere. Dum-de-dum. Okay. So, like the lighthouse in the storm here, right? So the lighthouse is on top of this rock. So the water's coming up and hitting this big rock, but you're not even seeing the lighthouse here. The lighthouse is up here somewhere in the rock, and the light is at the top of the lighthouse, right? Because the lighthouse is a tall building. So the ground of the lighthouse is on top of this rock. So what was coming up here is that the lighthouse on the big rock, or the sword in the stone, with the big waves beating against the rock, unable to get to the light. So the water here is unable to get to the light, and that's why there's this big rock making them be above them, right? Being seen as placing themselves above the water, the waves coming in down below. But it's about the big waves beating on the rock, on that person who may be speaking to you, or speaking to many people, unable to get to the light unless they rise to the occasion, as opposed to the lighthouse coming down here to get hit by the waves, because then of course the lighthouse would get knocked over and it wouldn't exist anymore. So here the water has to rise, as in the new waves coming in as the collective awakens. The big waves beating on the rock, unable to get to the lighthouse unless they rise to the occasion without burning out the light. Like the beach where the land meets the sea is an equal playing field, as opposed to here where one is above the ocean coming in, lots of waves. There's no rough stuff to build walls against when you have the beach, where there's equal play between the sand and the water. And also building upward was coming up as we go into the future. The cities will build upward as opposed to outward. The door to Christ unity, the winged gate, the emerald city, follow the yellow brick road, the path lined with gold, which is the Christ unity consciousness, and placing yourself right at the lead, number 1. That was at 9:17, which is the hermit and the star. Also, let's see, before I turn the page, to create, expand abundance, the lighthouse sword is strong, with lots of waves rushing into it, or you. The shadow work that triggers then will go with the flow, or flows with the rivers, the communication from the beach, and be free with the dolphin chariot, bringing you emotional well-being. So dolphin and water energy is really good for your emotional well-being right now. And speaking to your inner child. So IC, which is great that it's short for inner child, because it's also the acronym for informed consent. For those of you not familiar with my background, I was in medical research for 25 years. So informed consent and inner child is perfect, right? Because you shouldn't be doing anything without your inner child consenting first. Burdens discuss speaking to your inner child and discussing your burdens, your shadow side, and that you're always invited to the dimensional gateway to the Christ consciousness through the Queen of Cups chakra system, which is referencing then JC and Mary Magdalene. So, and where are those two cards that I showed you first? All right, so these are the two cards I showed you that were coming up in that read, right? This is the Christ and the Mary Magdalene, the 38 of the Queen of Cups, and the 33 of the Christ vibration. Very much in the same position here, right? The feminine as the chakra system and the masculine as the Christed unity consciousness and the gateway. Okay, so we have, I wanted you to see those energies that were coming up together. It's very synchronistic for the twins. And that's 33 plus 38, which is really interesting because I used to use the number 338 of the two numbers coming together because my ex's number was 33 and my soul number is 38. That's my kid's dad. So then the numbers 32, 33, and 34 were coming up, was 37, 38, and 39, with 35 and 36 being in between, which is what we're letting go, the darker energies of the wounded warrior, and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world, and then setting boundaries. And again, the yellow for joy was coming up. And so as we turn the page here, at 9:17, the Hermit and the Star, or the dreams coming true, from the top of the rock to the light, at the top of the lighthouse, right, a house that is light, the flyer always is kept off the floor in case of a flood, like in the situation I had last week about my water heater breaking. So dense and weighty energies at the bottom for support, right, like in a pyramid, and then the light and fluffy stuff at the top for lightning rod action. So again, here's coming up the play against or between the rod and staff. And then what came up is when you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand and nothing is going right. So again, James Brown was coming up. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon you will be there to brighten up even your darkest hour. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running. And that was the download I have of that is James Brown with Carly Simon. And then Saint Germain and Lady Portia came up, combining both. What I was first getting was German and French, but then English and Italian coming up too. German, it was coming up like a car, like the best of both worlds, both German and French engineering. But it was actually coming up as all four of those things, German, French, but also English and Italian. With Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Christ and Sophia, Krishna, Buddha, Moses, Mohammed, and the mountain too. You've got a friend in Lemuria, the clarity within. Picture your chariot on a dolphin swim for emotional well-being, crystal in the water, and the cool, cool rain. And Roger that, 10-4, message received, the destiny of union of the Queen of Cups light body and her shadow going within, Mary Magdalene's. The King of Cups detaching from drama to feel your lightness of the Mary Magdalene. The Queen of Cups. And then I was getting, she's a brick house, right? It's funny, right? That she's tough, ready for you to light up her life. The collective awakening, the flower of life opening to abundant, go with the flow attitude and listening to your I see or inner child. I see. Hear and know me. Use your key daily to lock the gates as you leave them behind for a clear view when you get to each new dawn, leaving the past behind. Untie the knots with your twin in the electromagnetic field and the track of the Akashics. So track and field was coming up here for tracking Akashic records and doing your field work of joy and happiness in park and recs as you plant new seeds of magic happiness. And right as I finished writing that sentence, my electric surged and went off for no reason. Like we didn't lose electricity in the neighborhood or anything. It just all of a sudden surged at that moment, right as I'm talking about the electric grid. The electric surged and the clocks went out, and this was at 9:38 to 39 on the dot, which is the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups. And the TV then, the clock on the TV reset at that time at 9:40, a minute later. Spread your wings as the Queen of Swords for dreams to come true in conquering your fears. Then it's so funny, right, with the new dawn coming up. My sister-in-law's name is Dawn, and she texted right at that moment at 9:41 because she wanted to let us know that 3 of the family members had come down with the you-know-what. So, and by the way, they all got their you-know-whats too, but they still got it. Okay. And one of them is pregnant. So she was just letting us know that. And then right after that, my sister called. So going back to the Queen of Swords and her dreams coming true, the forest run of the 9 and the Hermit at 10:28, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Twin Flames, and then the new dawn of the 10 of that high vibration and destiny and a turn for the better and welcoming you back to that new dawn, that new day, 9:10, begin again. So then the message of the day from today at 10:34 to 37 is when I put the cards down. And again, these decks are the Animal Spirit Guidebook, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, as well as the Kipper deck. And this started off with the underlying energies of the Zebra, the Polar Bear, the King of Wands, and what did I write? Oh, and Concern. And remember, concern is fear. Anything that's worry or not love is in the category of fear. And when you're confused about anything, go back to fear and love. They are mutually exclusive, so you can't be in one and be in the other at the same time. And of course, you always want to be in the love field, right? So the Zebra is eclectic and rare, with third eye activated, to dark mother energies, pushing the King of Wands upright to martyr themselves. Okay, so here's that Jesus energy again coming up with the mother pushing them to martyr themselves, right? The guilt complex and all that kind of stuff that the mothers can put on us. The collective awakening and sealed from the hothead elk, who's usually a good and strong and loving man, but can get really arrogant and, kind of jerky and short-tempered when they don't eat well. And that can just be another side of you or your twin making you feel that way because they haven't eaten well. Perhaps a side of the Zebra that doesn't come out very often, right? And then the elk and the zebra together were coming up as E-Zebra, which E is the E tower, represents the feminine or Eve. And then the C-Zebra. And then Easy Ebra, and Ebra means drunk or besides oneself, or enraptured or mad, crazy. And then Snail Zebra was also coming up to take it slow. And then Sneezy came up again, or to sneeze when you're beside oneself, which means you're with your twin. So maybe you're sneezing because of something that your twin did, or because they're mad. And I always get, when my twin's mad, my sinuses, I get a lot of pressure there on the bridge of my nose around the third eye area. Or sells Ebra, or sells oneself, being besides oneself, selling in rapture, selling intoxication. And then Snelk Oak Pan came up. So the word was Snelk, but there is no word Snelk, only Snelk Ook Pan came up, which is a pressure cooker, which just reminds me of changing the water filter downstairs because, it's big for the house. There's a lot of pressure there. So it's coming up as the pressure cooker, but without the cooker, right? Because you're built in. You have a built-in pressure cooker. You don't need external pressure cooker. The Snelk Zebra coming up here. The pressure comes from within or twin. Or when he's mad, like I said, I feel pressure in my sinuses. And then the collective confusion on which way to go with Snake in the Garden and the poison apples, Home with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or is that Mrs. Hyde? In the powers that be exposed, and the hermit or hiding gifts to pushy shadow mother. Reaping rewards while the others are out, or reaping rewards while the others are out in the cold. Perhaps a sister or suffering in silence with wise guidance, or is it wise? Because there's a brown owl here, maybe on the dark side. Because there are owls that are referenced too as coming in when people have been abducted. So there's the white owl and the brown owl here. So is it a good owl or a bad owl? Only you can discern the difference by how it feels. And do they want love? Is it of the love and light? The Empress reversed in lack here, she's reversed, whether it's because she's ill or injured or post-delivery of a child, or is it because she's codependent and lazy and refuses to do anything for herself because she can't or she doesn't know how, right? Which is just an excuse to not learn something, which, we're all guilty of that sometimes. Or is it because she's mean and crazy, right? The out-of-control boss who's not nice to anybody. Or perhaps gone in death completely. Or death between the Empress reversed and the King of Wands upright, so a splitting of a mother and son. The main male with the woman with expectations in a courtship or stable home, with a completed room or perhaps empty nest syndrome, or the man with concerns of martyrdom, or about their son's home or marriage. And so this could be somebody's father concerned about someone they're getting involved with or a contract they're getting into. Perhaps a pushy mother pushing the King of Wands away from the twin with psychic abilities and pushing them to stay with the father, perhaps if they're leaving their home, or to leave the father's house because they don't want their influence around them. The devil and Christ both getting the best of them here, right? The Christ guilt, right? And then the devil maybe do it. And then the first section here is the lamb and the mouse and the swans. So the innocent lamb, of course, is a target because they have this beautiful diamond light over their head on the fool's journey of opening doors for others, stepping through a doorway to the widowed bride of abundance, or walking away from the Empress's marriage. The mouse is nervous, but with a lot of friends helping them find a way out of their chains, as the man suddenly thinking of a woman at 11:03, which is justice and the Empress. The swans with luck in keeping it quiet, not sleeping, or rising above a wealthy man in transition. The second section here is the lizard, the starfish, and the moth. Not strong, unable to control themselves. One is the child in transition, dumping emotional attachments to things or hiding them in the changes because they don't want to let go. There's attachment energies here. And then the starfish with burdens and the weight of the world. And the emperor, mature worldly man, who's free to expand, but has it all come easy to him. The moth to the flame can't help themselves. With sudden dreams come true, but in the energetic exchange, it may be with a false person or couple or masked dance of the tango. The child gets stressed out or stressed easily, so they hermit with their things instead. The star perhaps did not expect all the responsibilities that come with it to be on them, and the moth attracted to those who may not be good for them. The child with the burden of stardom and dreams, dumping emotional attachments of the emperor and the energetic exchange or back and forth with the world, hermiting changes while the mature worldly man sees what their partners or children are headed for because they've experienced it before at 11:10. But do they know, right? You can't ever know what's best for someone else completely, even a child, because you're not in them. At 11:10, which is the 11 of justice, and the 10, which is destiny. The third section here, maybe a child has to go through these things because it's part of their lesson to get to where they need to go to start their mission. The third section here, dear ones, it begins with butterflies in transformation, but they've just come out of that cocoon. Watch out for the cheetah who's ready to pounce on a sweet, innocent thing. What's the movie? Sweet Thing, is that what the movie title is called? That's what it was making me think of. Dear one, the wounded warrior with no anchor to speak of, or a speakeasy coming up here, with the Knight of Cups reversed, jealous, moody, or feeling rejected, and the little girl, whether that's her or someone else. Or the dear one sees the wounded warrior, Knight of Cups, who's jealous of the romantic, loved little girl, perhaps more privileged. The butterfly is vulnerable because they're just out of the cocoon, expanding in the sun right in front of everyone. Exposed ship or Viking ship sailing, and the big house in judgment. The cheetah with one-to-one direction and open to whatever, to visit, move, or destabilize the Knight of Cups reversed and the little girl's home and community. The deer in the headlights never saw it coming. The cheetah Knight of Cups reversed chased the butterfly away to get to the dear one, and now coming soon to a neighborhood near you. The fourth section here is the elephant, the dolphin, and the turtle, and the spider in the web, and the cosmic egg. Ellie and the dolphin, a really happy fellow, and the turtle in the dark, caught in a web on the cosmic egg, the electromagnetic grid, and the collective awakening of the turtle in the dark because they're resisting it. Ellie is at fox chase, patient, of a higher love, destined to get away from X on the wounded warrior path. The dolphin is happy with the family tree, clearing the trunk with them, with the Queen of Pentacles filing paperwork with the King of Wands, or she's happy with family and the King of Wands is the one filing paperwork to leave. The turtle is the Page of Cups, with multiple faces of vulnerability, conflicted by others around them doing so well, and them with a loving, mature woman they're resisting, who's having work done by the wounded warrior perhaps, or one who does heavy manual labor. The spider web or grid is complete with mountains to climb and admire while appreciating their multiple faces to get to the other side, two as one connection of a higher love with a message of concern. The crowning glory of inspiration, a letter, document, or communication of the patient angel of a higher love, the 38 of the Queen of Cups, offering to work, or working too much, or doing hard labor, perhaps somebody's delivering, and receiving help from the collective energy that was sent her way, which just naturally put her in the right spot to get what she needed. Destined Queen of Pentacles to pursue happiness, or perhaps with 5 of the same mother, or siblings, and connect one-to-one to deep light healing, patient and balanced, alchemizing a higher love. The wounded warrior path is lined with transformation, with the King of Wands with papers to the mature woman of a loving nature, or a mother with message of concern about the cost of the labor, or the middleman or woman and patient with helping them out, as rates are going up these days, at 1133 with justice and the Christ vibration, the 33. And then we have the fifth section again at 1133 with the oyster, the black egg, which is the throat chakra, and the phoenix, which is the root chakra, and the peacock, which is that blue, green, yellow of the solar plexus, the heart, and the throat chakra. The pearl is still cooking, may not be time to open that pressure cooker yet, or all clammed up as the truth rises from the ashes right in front of the peacock's eyes. A complete transformation in a blink of an eye. At 1135, justice for the wounded warrior. And remember, we're moving from the wounded warrior to the fool's journey, right? No longer being the victim. And that's the collective awakening right now, is that transition, because we've already been on the fool's journey, and now we're teaching them to get off the wounded warrior's journey and go onto the fool's journey too, to go into unconditional love. The oyster Knight of Cups is taking a chance on an inspiration or new passion to release one from imprisonment at present, or a gift perhaps of jail time. Or the Knight of Cups, and I was just getting Jail Beach is right across from Italy, but Jail Beach came up for me personally, and actually the twins I was connecting with back then, several years ago. So that's coming up again now for some reason. If anyone of you knows Jail Beach, you can let me know if that's significant to you. Or the Knight of Cups is keeping quiet but inspired by their gifts or present moment, even when feeling imprisoned. So again, finding the inspiration in everything, both the light and the dark. The throat chakra of the King of Wands with some irritation or petty annoyances for dreams to come true and close the case, or case closed, or exposing dreams of death, endings, transformation, or dreams and excitement may be terrifying to the oyster here who's all clammed up. They're so afraid to speak their truth, perhaps they're afraid they'll die in prison. The phoenix rises with abundant energetic exchange and flow, without a choice or unable to implement their path at this moment, with the ship sailing and nowhere to dock or float the boat, or anchor into. There's no grounding mechanism at 1142, which is justice and the Two of Cups. The Atlas and the weight of the world is all pie in the sky here with no end in sight, no place to land, running out of fuel. As the peacock observed this, and she abundantly sailing right through, free to leap in energetic exchange, an occupation or occupied with energetic exchange, or a flurry of energy, communication and or travel, as the Empress is sailing right on through to the Knight of Wands in the circle of trust, with the Queen of Wands, two as one swans. The Knight of Wands magician with all their tools on board to end this Queen of Wands connection of unhappiness in a cycle that's way overdone, with unexpected income and inspiration, or unexpected incoming or visitor for adjudication of a home, family, and or union at 1146, which is justice and the two children loving each other. So those were the first two, or first one. That was all from today. And then the message of the day from last night was the cheetah, the mice, the Empress, and expectations as the underlying energy at 10:14 to 18 last night. 14 is the temperance card, 18 is the moon. So again, the cheetah coming up first here is about to pounce as the King of Wands with the rugrats, perhaps mice or petty annoyances, or perhaps little thieves, and the Empress upright, the ringleader, with expectations or looking out for them. And the whale here is exhausted or on their last leg, as the bear and hyena finally, and the firefly and the dolphin get to work with the cheetah who's aggressive, ready to take advantage of them. Dr. Jackal and Mr. Hyde through the big city, exposing powers that be, the hermit with gift and friends to hang out with, but they're not what they thought it would be. Offering money, but the King of Pentacles reversed is not planning to pay. Tempted by the Holy Grail, detoxing the Knight of Swords reversed, abusive King of Swords reversed, the ringleader here. And there could be a father and child there for sure. The main female high priestess making a decision about a home, keeping it to themselves about changes inspired by great fortune. The privileged lady with expectations or knows about the lady in waiting, or the woman has no idea what happened to their children. And that energy was coming up too from the movie. I have no idea what the movie was called last night, but it was about, poor workers that were shipped in and end up being slaves. They didn't know what they were getting into. And this is the energy of the mothers left behind, that they're trying to send money back to, that had no idea what happened to them, because all of a sudden they stopped calling and they don't know where they are. They don't know anything about it. The first section here is the eagle and the elk, hothead, the eagle snake with poison and justice and the wounded warrior pathway, the elk with child out in the cold imprisoned, and the second section of the worm and the oyster and the scorpion, two keeping to themselves and one with a sting, the worm taking a gamble, jealous or rejected, expecting bad health, the oyster clammed up with the pushy powers waiting for their ship to come in with the main male, and the scorpion motivated to jumpstart the others with a light at the end of the tunnel, or a choice on the fool's journey to the Queen of Cups, possibly with in the Emperor's courtship here. And the energy around this, especially about this movie last night, was a very disturbing movie, because, it's the truth of what some people have had to go through and be enslaved. And it was very sad because, all these guys were enslaved together and they're trapped. They were locked into the work that they had to do. They couldn't escape. They had to kind of plot. It's like breaking out of prison. And the really smart kid of the group ended up trying to stick up for the rest of the group to find a way out sooner than they were told they'd be let out, which was a lie. But in trying to do this, he ends up moving up with the bad guy because he finds a way out for himself and he has no way of getting the others out, and then finds that this bad guy actually has some redeeming qualities to him, and he actually has a family. He actually ends up getting taken out of the prison because he becomes trustworthy to the bad man and meets his family. So he ends up moving up in the company and making money, while all the guys he started with, who he wanted to protect the way he started out, are still prisoners, and now they become his prisoners as well. It was a very sad story, but how true that is, right? What people have to do just to survive. So the third section here is the golden egg, the crow, and the shark. The heart chakra, the nest egg, and the crow's distance to the shark attack. Right? What's the quickest way to get away? Right? We talk about the crow's distance to get to your child in an emergency. That came up before. But now it's like the getaway. What's the shortest way out in case the shark attacks? Or to get to someone in case of their attack. The heart is the home, standing up for the mother, as the crow and the fox are leaving the hen house in hard times for higher love. The patience and the message of concern here, with the shark wounded warrior with no anchor, dumping emotional attachments to false person and or couple here. The fourth section is the camel and the unicorn, the independent in abundant exchange, frustrated man with concerns, and the unicorn inspired by a letter or contract or depressed about a marriage. The fifth section is the cobra, the sea serpent, and the black egg. The cobra teacher, the king of cups, perhaps doing time, struggling to get out without getting killed. The sea serpent challenged to complete the cycle. The worst over of Atlas, pie in the sky, ungrounded. The black egg is the truth, needing a closer look regarding leadership and the wealthy man in transition at 11:21, justice and completion. And then 22, which is the fool's journey, taking that leap of faith to change their life. The sixth section is the elephant and the fox. The elephant clearing the way for rod and staff, reaping rewards of a journey of despair. The fox with twin bridges to the hermit, shedding light on the energetic exchange in their occupation, or their occupation with the energetic exchange between them and other workers, whether that's communication, travel, or any kind of energetic exchange. The seventh section here is the hawk and the tiger. The hawk's clearing the way here, the energies, with self-love and diving deep with strong thoughts of a woman. The tiger in a public meet with the Queen of Pentacles reversed and a little girl. Even bad men have families who love them. And what was so sad about this is once he took the bait and climbed the ladder within this evil organization, he can't go back, because how can he save them now? Because now he's part of the group who's abusing them. So the eighth section here is the phoenix and the wolf. The phoenix rising, inspired by codes to crack on how to get love, as the king of wands with court issues, and the wolf is stunned by a connection to the vulture. Right? Stunned that I would ever think of this guy, would never have thought of himself as working with this evil man, right? Because he was a good guy growing up with his mom. The Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups, to be a part of the family community and see a dream for themselves. 1144 is Justice and the 44 of Mastery, the Vulture and the Dragon, the Trash Collector and Big Brother, the Atlas Burden and Disconnector at a distance, and destined to the journey to move up. The dragon with her eye on you and sudden dreams of the Queen of Wands is to catch a thief where they come from. The little lamb, the bunny, the turtle, and the innocence collection or collective awakening as all are watching. The buffalo, the hummingbird, and the peacock moving up to the east side at 1146, which is the children loving each other and the justice regarding that. So again, this is like where one kid finds a way out of the ghetto, but at what cost, right? And then now they'll never be able to get out of that, because they're always going to be connected to that dark energy. Even if they end up living a clean life, they're still clean because of all the darkness that's underneath them. So yeah, it was a very sad movie, but how true, right? Because we're human. Everybody wants a chance to be free. They have the right to be free. But that came up in the movie too, like the bad guy was telling him, well, go ahead, go out and be free. Go ahead and starve to death. No one wants to hire you. So it was a very difficult energy to be in. So this first union read was done 11/11. This was 3/22 to 3, with the Seven of Wands and the underlying energy, the Ten of Pentacles in the middle, which is that dream family, right? Heaven on earth, and then the Seven of Cups at the end. The Phoenix rising above drama with flame in hand, and the Ten of Pentacles family, business, or community, or world perhaps, taking steps to circle up out of the picture, right? To get out of that bad place, or to manifest synchronicities, or a family of abundance on the stairway to heaven. The incoming divine feminine, the Nine of Swords, the reflection of the Hermit, and the Four of Cups. Perhaps a sister, or suffering in silence, or hiding underground, reflecting with light. If I ever get out of here, right? Gonna give it all away, right? So making promises to God if they just get you out of this bad situation. In turbulent storms, alone weathering strong emotions. And that's coming up on the feminine side, which I was experiencing through a movie last night. And then the 3D here of the Ace of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Tower of the divine feminine with the truth and ready to play ball when the ocean calms down, right? Not when it's rough. The divine masculine Quasimodo knocked off the tower when lightning struck, with multiple fires to put out. Bridging with the Queen of Wands, all hands on deck, serving self while serving it up to others as well. Putting out the major fires, but leaving the spark or ignition fire starter, right? It's like the tower not getting the flyer on top wet because it'll go out. It was the same thing here, like putting out the major fires, but leaving the spark or ignition trigger or the fire starter, right? Leaving that aside so it doesn't get put out, so you can start the fire again. The 4D here is the King of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. The divine feminine King of Wands shaman on her side, whether that's her energy or someone around her, and the shaman with the left sun and the right stone. The divine masculine, the King of Swords, protecting his sacred sexuality, bridging with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, and community in the garden of prayer. The shaman and the sensei and the wounded warrior family, the fire starter and the wounded warrior, along with the King of Wands. The 5D here is abundance, the Nine of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. The divine feminine mother with open arms in plasma ethers with the weight of the divine masculine on her shoulders. The divine masculine hiding in the woods by the creek, and bridging in the wounded warrior, taking the top flame and letting the other 4 and 4 duke it out amongst themselves at 341, which is the Empress and the Ace of Cups. Self-love, spiritual love, new love. The outgoing divine masculine here with indigo, the Knight of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. Proposed to sexy slow burn, or divine masculine getting children to help with a proposal to the hermit in the Mary Magdalene cave, iced by the group below, not knowing how to put crystals back together in a way that they like, and taking steps to spiral up with synchronicities and options, the stairway to heaven, or perhaps the 7th floor. The divine feminine with the truth of the King of Wands shaman and the Empress mother. The divine masculine after the storm and sudden events and fires. The King of Swords, a cold cucumber in the 4D, but in 5D, a marshmallow trying to feel their way through the woods. The bridge here is the Queen of Wands with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, of the wounded warrior, or she's abundant and they victims, needing to take their own leads, or the Queen of Wands and the wounded warrior, family, or one and the same person. And then the King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Nine of Wands, and King of Swords were all coming up. And I was referencing it too. It can be siblings all coming up together here. One with the one with the stuff in the middle here, the crystals and the plants. And then one with abundance, another one more like the divine masculine, and then one in surrender between them, and then another perhaps in the middle of all the drama in 3D and their truth. And then the feminine coming up in the middle as bridging all of them with no man left behind kind of mentality, right? The divine feminine's coming up with Virgo and Taurus, and the divine masculine coming up with Scorpio and Gemini or Virgo. The divine feminine had King of Wands on her side, and the masculine had the King of Swords on his side with the Knight of Wands, and perhaps a Hermit too. Between the masculine and feminine was the Queen of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, and the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, coming between them. Or there could be questions about, and where are we going for Thanksgiving, which is why family is coming up as getting between the twins. And are you doing it just because you're supposed to? Or are you doing it because you want to do it? Remember to be in your complete authenticity. That was interesting too. I think I was just watching a little bit of Lori Ladd before I did my video, and they were talking about that kind of energy. And of course, Thanksgiving is coming up too, so that brings all those family topics up. The overall number for this read was 60, which is the Six of Swords and peace. And the horizontal pillars came out to 31, which is the Five of Wands, the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 19 of the Sun. And the verticals came out to 16 of the Tower, 0, which is God or space energy, 4 of the Emperor, 1 of the Magician, 19 of the Sun, the 8 of the Strength card, or the dance and manifestation, and then 2 zeros, and then the 12 of the Hanging Man. And the messages were coming up as conflict or pursuit. It's really your choice and perspective. In the destiny of happiness and energy, exposure and peace. And the sudden space here for love with the Emperor Magician, and the sunshine dance of 0012. So again, instead of 007, it's coming up as 0012 of the Magician and the High Priestess hanging out together in peace. The second union read here was the same 345D, the Two of Swords in the underlying energy, the Four of Pentacles, which is the Divine Masculine's heart in the Crystal Batcave in the middle of the read, and then the Nine of Wands or the Wounded Warrior at the end. And I pulled the underlying cards at the end and the beginning to see what was coming up with those energies. So the Two of Swords had the Eight of Pentacles behind it, but it had the Seven of Pentacles behind the Eight, which I brought up because the Divine Feminine in the E-Tower is that Seven of Pentacles. And the Divine Masculine's in the middle of the read in the Crystal Batcave. And the 7 and 8 of Pentacles kind of go together because one is the feminine, like Rapunzel in the tower, and then the 8 is a picture of the masculine working on the steps outside the tower. And that's going into the Two of Swords, of being in your knowing and floating on air, you know, allowing all the other energies around you to just go away. And the end of the read was coming up with the Wounded Warrior, and then the Death card, which is the transition through the portal here. So the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine outside in a cave, surrendering in transition, as the incoming Divine Feminine with guides, and Dan came up here, the name Dan, Gaia Dan, and then strength breaking through to the Chariot travel, and bringing sudden information from the etheric through to the other side, down to the ground and running I was getting, you know, like drop down and go. But I was also just now getting down to the ground to get out of the rain, bum, bum, bum. So the ants go marching 2 by 2 has been coming up all week. So here's the Chariot breaking through to the other side and then dropping down to the ground, go. It's like doing the relay race. And I used to talk about the third leg of the race all the time in the beginning of my videos. And so here we are with and that was so good with the movie I told you about yesterday. It was so heartwarming. It's about, you know, getting a hold of that torch or whatever it's called that they pass in the relay race, the baton, to get, you know, to be the fourth leg in the race, which is funny because I was the fourth leg in elementary school because we had an Olympics in elementary school. So again, the Sphinx was coming up here as coming to life as the Chariot. And notice the Sphinx, you know, is kind of cat-like or lion-like, but you don't really know what it is. But here the Sphinx was coming to life as the Chariot. Again, in form from the etheric realm through to the other side, down on the ground, and running to get out of the rain, bum, bum, bum. And then the 3D here was, get this, the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Cups, and the 7 of Swords, 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands. So triple sevens, the jackpot. This was the 3D. The Divine Feminine passing downloads, the Divine Masculine Phoenix rising, with flame in hand to tango, bridging with the 7 of Cups on the stairway to heaven. The 4D here was the 4 of Cups, the 4 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. The Divine Feminine, grounding and integrating and mastering, or GIM, the Divine Masculine sending 5D messages to the wounded warrior as a note to self, bridging with the Divine Masculine heart in the crystal Batcave. The 5D here is the 6 of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Star. The Divine Feminine journey, right? She's on the journey. She's on the Fool's journey, not the wounded warrior. The Divine Masculine is the rock star healer, bridging with the Page of Wands, inspired by the flow and the flame. So this one came out to, this continues on after I give I did the numbers all early on for some reason. It was really cool because the 3D was 777, the 4D was 44, and the 5D was just 6 of the Lovers, along with 2 and 9 on either end, like the polarities of the High Priestess and the Hermit. This one, the High Priestess, okay, let me see here. So interesting numbers were coming up in this grid here too when I did the numbers for this read. 2001 came up, which is of course when 9/11 came up, but 7/11 came up instead. 2001, 7/11, 700, and 9 with the kids. And that could be the 9 as well. And that could be the Hermit. And instead of 007, we had 700, which is the reverse of the double agent, right? And also the numbers came out 17117 in the middle of double zeros on either side. So it was the High Priestess, double zeros, 17117, 00, and then the Hermit on the other side. The outgoing Divine Masculine was the Higher Self, the Abundance, and the Page of Cups. The Higher Self with Akashic Records, the Abundant Mother, willing to carry the weight of the Divine Masculine and be open-hearted at the same time. The little child, all there for the wounded warrior. So it's like the masculine on his side, seeing his higher self as one with the Akashics, as the abundant mother, willing to carry the weight of the masculine, and the open-hearted child, the little child. That's all there for the wounded warrior in transition to the Fool's journey. The Divine Feminine passing information of grounding, integrating, and mastering, or GIM, love, in leading the way out of the wounded warrior. The Divine Masculine as the Phoenix rising to pass 5D messages to the wounded warrior, again that note to self, while being the rock star healer, Atlantean, galactic. The bridge here is upstairs from down under to the Divine Feminine 4D, offering herself love, while the Divine Masculine's heart in the crystal Batcave is inspired by Sekhmet, or idol, or the Page of Wands, who's always inspired. And then my Nat came in again. Unforgettable, that's what you are. So that's coming up again. And that was at 617, which is the 6 of the Lovers and the 17 of Dreams coming true. And remember, Sekhmet is a feminine warrior, it's not masculine. So the Page of Wands again is coming up as the feminine warrior. And right, because I told you that the other day, the feminine is coming up as the Page of Wands, the masculine was coming up as the Page of Cups, the innocent one. So anyway, the Divine Masculine's heart in the crystal Batcave, inspired by Sekhmet, or idol, or Page of Wands, who's always inspired and unforgettable. The Divine Feminine with Taurus, Leo or Sag, and Cancer on their side. The Divine Masculine with Aquarius, Pisces, and Taurus, and perhaps Scorpio on their side as well, with the Knight of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Wounded Warrior. And what was between? Hold on one second. So, yeah, and the only thing that was coming up between the masculine and feminine was the Divine Masculine's heart and the Page of Wands. That inspiration, or perhaps that little part of himself who wants to be worshipped, right? The ego part of himself. So the divine feminine's heart and the divine masculine working with crystals, floating on air as the Sphinx, with Buddha's help, breaks through the ring of fire, the circle of trust, to the other side, hitting the ground running in chariots of fire with all senses on. And recently the masculine came up as Pinocchio becoming a real live boy, and now Buddha is driving the chariots of fire, leading the way in 5D, while the divine masculine Phoenix rising, which is really funny because it's the combination of a bird and a Bengal tiger, because the Sphinx is coming up as the Bengal tiger, and the Phoenix is a bird, of course, in a cooling off period and then Mary Magdalene comes in. Come and I shall soothe you, calm you, and anoint you, mirth for your hot forehead. Oh, don't you know everything's all right? Yes, everything's fine, and it's cool, and the ointment's sweet for the fire in your head and feet. Close your eyes, and relax, think of nothing tonight. So that was coming up with Mary Magdalene, which is that Page of Wands card in Spirits Connecting with Me, is very much about Mary Magdalene oiling his feet, as he being the Page of Wands, little impish boy. So the divine masculine is starting to understand his position of being able to receive her love, not just being the one who gives love, being able to receive her love, or the high priestess and the 5D rock star, living a Pleiadian dual life, transitioning through the portal and rising to the occasion. Perhaps now they are off duty from the Pleiades, because some of the masculines could be, literally living dual lives, like living as a human, but maybe they felt really disconnected because their energy wasn't in them, like they're living and doing warrior, protecting the earth and the Pleiades as well. So they're coming up as retiring from his galactic tour of duty to hang out with Milady, as he has been trying to put her crystal pieces of her heart back together. Her ear here, he art heart. As she leaves the 4D island, or the longing island, to find underwater crystal cave, to break through to the other side, to make a splash on the other side. So here's again the feminine trapped on the island to herself, as she leaves the wounded warrior, or the island, or the longing of the wounded warrior island, to find an underwater cavern or the crystal cave of the divine masculine's heart, to help her break through to the other side and make a splash in the 3D coming up on the other side. As the wounded warrior is in transition, taking top flame down from the Atlas post, leaving a tie 4 to 4, making it even so no one can campaign or complain. As the 3D jackpot, the 4D mastery, and the 5D community leaders. But where is the love? The love. Where is the love? So that's coming up here. So again, it's again, as you take down the top flame in the pyramid, which is also kind of like the menorah, right? You have the middle lighting flame and the 4 candles on either side, as the wounded warrior in transition, no longer wanting to be that 9 of Wands, taking the top flame down from the top of the pyramid, like the lighthouse, as the Atlas post, leaving a tie of 4 to 4, making it even so that no one can complain when they leave it behind. The 3D jackpot, 4D mastery, and the 5D community leaders. But where is the love here? Because there's very little cups here. There's a stairway to heaven, but that's pretty much it. So then the numbers here for this read, like I said, you had 777s, 444s, and the 6. And they came out to, the horizontals came out to 7. It's the lovers with the pillars around them of the high priestess and the hermit. which are the leaders, but the lovers are in between them in the 5D, trickling down to the 44 and the 40, and the 777s of hitting the jackpot in the 3D. The horizontals were 17 of the star, 8 of the dance, 21 of the world, and the verticals came out to 2 of the high priestess, 00, 17, which is the star, the 11 of justice, the 7 of the chariot, and then 00s again with the number 9. So here's where I told you the numbers came up. The high priestess with 00s, space, a lot of space and source energy between, the 17117, and then 009 on the other side, which is the hermit. And then we have the 6 of cups as the main number, the 46 of the children hugging each other. The message being dreams come true, to dance around the world with twin and or your children. The high priestess and 0017, dreams of justice and the chariot, and the 009 hermit or 99 soulmates. High priestess and hermit with stars, truth and balance, and the chariot between, cushioned for hugs and kisses. And that's when those other numbers were coming up too. 2001, but not 911, 711, 700, and 9 with the kids. So it could be a message from someone too. Back then, I got really lucky because I was there on 7/11, but on 9/11 I was with the kids, so they saved me. It's kind of that. And this could be a message to someone who died, to someone who's still alive. At 9/11, so they're saying, whoever it is saying that on the 9th they were with the kids. This is 2001, 7/11, and maybe they were expecting to be there 7/11, not 9/11. 700 was the reverse of 007, right? They didn't get to be the secret agent this time. They got to be the hermit with the kids. So that could be a message. Let me know if that resonates with anyone, because that could be a very specific message for somebody. All right, so let's get into the read in front of you. All right, so the twin flame read in front of you. I cut the Syrian Starseed deck at 644, which is the lovers and the mastery, the grounding, integrating, mastering of love. It's very much a master's number, 44. And we have at 658, which is the lovers and the 4 of swords, which is the 5D connection between the twins. What was coming up was eker of flames, like beaker, but eker, like someone who might be scared of things, of drama. And then F flames came up, which is kind of the same thing, because the F is expansion and contraction. It can be saying the F word, but it's, for me, it's about expanding and contracting, or staying in the middle to reflect the drama instead. And then ES was coming up again, which is reflecting the S of the Sophia, to go back into your feminine, into that higher love, when there's some fear of drama. The eker of flames, or there's somebody's beaker may have gone up in science class as well, but the eker can also be the energetic exchange of negative spirits, of drama. I've finished this clarification for this read at 711, so here's 711 coming up again, to 12, so the justice to the hanging man, and the 7 of the chariot, the vehicle of ascension, or the vehicle of infiltration into the group in order to clear it from inside out. The numbers for this read, we had 111s and 1010s, so big time transition, guys, to your new cycle. Very high vibration for like all systems go. And then the 44 of the mastering. We have the 12 of the hanging man, the 45 of the 5 of cups, and the purging of letting go of the past, the 24 of the queen of wands, and the 510 of 0 behind 51, which is the king of swords. We also have 14 of the temperance card, the angels and the higher love, the 410 of 0 behind 41, which is self-love, spiritual love, and new love. In a lesser sense, we also have 56 of the 2 of swords, but the energy was coming up as 6, 7, 8, 9, like the space between the 5 and 10, the 5 and dime. 6, 7, 8, 9 is the space between the 5 and dime. That's a message for somebody too. So the code line here was all about karmic completion and then completion. So double completions here, one of them being karmic, and karmic was divided into karm and IC, the inner child or the informed consent, and then complete and shun, Tion. So this is the way those messages came up. The code line was all about the number 18, which is the moon, which came from 15, 1 and 2, which is the 15 of the devil, and then the magician and the high priestess together, and their shadow side equals the moon. Regarding karmic completion and then completion, so a double completion here, the saint or the path that say the Sophia is the fool, the knight of the devil. So the King of Wands can master drama and or new passion of 2. The path or sass, the sassy path perhaps, of foolishness, good at acing 5 or change, expansion, and freedom, so that they can master drama and passion 2. Standard pressed steel also came up, which is so weird because that movie I watched last night was they were imprisoned in a steel plant. So how crazy is that? So standard pressed steel came up, and the only thing I could find was, because there's a standard pressed steel's local home base here, a metallurgist admits that she spent decades of faking steel testing results for the Navy submarines. That's the only thing I found that came up regarding steel, and that had nothing to do with standard pressed steel. As crazy night or false light of the shadow devil, so that the King of Wands is inspired to karmic completion. And then a word came up in the code line, Folad, F-O-L-A-D, which means the moon, which was the number on the code line. So the moon was definitely coming up here as significant. And then folade also, F-O-L-A-D-E, came up here, which is a bivalve mollusk. So again, there's those 2 again. So, but that word also means harsh, cold, tough inner child, informed consent here was the message coming up. Harsh, cold, tough inner child of informed consent to satisfy, overwhelm, to aim your weapon at. Sophia with time out for essays, whether that's writing or doing lab tests or something like that, to complete or to ace expansion so they can master drama, which can be acting as well. Maybe someone's taking a drama class. Or inspired to karmic completion, so to end the drama in their life completely. Also the saints, or the saint says, the saints say Sophia's a fool, or the saint says the fool, who's silly, crazy, and mad, or the goat skin, right, which is the skin of the Capricorn, the skin of the devil, is complete, a department of the shadow, or acing their freedom, so that the King of Wands can be excited to complete their karma, right, getting the worst of their shadow side over with. The saint, or the path, says only fools rush in, a tough inner child or children here, making up or occupying themselves with aiming at or pointing the finger at in a time out for connection. The path of the sassy fool, an after-death test of the devil pointing the finger to master drama with 1 flame becoming 2. So very interesting the way those messages came up today. The underlying energies here is the 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups here. Sorry, you can't even see over there. All right, so the 4 of Cups is this top card here, and then the mini cards on top. With the 5 cards underneath there from the bottom up, starting with the Queen of Wands and the 10 of Cups, both reversed. The Queen of Pentacles is upright, the Hanging Man is upright, and the 6 of Pentacles is upright. The Queen of Wands reversed, ending an emotional cycle of unhappiness or with an unhappy family. The Queen of Pentacles is upright, Capricorn, or hanging out, sharing what she sees in the stars or what she sees up in the sky. Satisfied with self, in need of help, or an invitation or child, Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of help, money, or opportunity from the Empress. knowing and keeping to themselves, or purposely unaware of a soul connection and insecure, or their insecurity being off the charts, or manipulating and unable to manifest. After shamed or guilty and self-satisfied, the inner little girl, or the inner little girl with helping the divine feminine out in the cold to recover, right? So this is you and your little girl helping each other out. But with their antenna up or out, knowing with their feelers out about overworked King of Swords reversed. Or he's keeping to himself and it's not working out for him, people stealing his leftovers, perhaps after a blanket of moss or mold grew, or the need to keep things off the floor in storage so that they don't get moldy, which came up for me last week as well. After working so hard on something, the King of Swords reversed may be pissed off that they let it go. The Ten of Cups reversed with a cycle so over, undercut, the rug pulled out, or shelving a house or displaying the need for peace here. With 11/11 celebration, not expressing true feelings or delays in communication or travel, displaying 11/11 or rods and wreaths across without proper support to prevent the water from getting in, or structure stable but not smooth sailing. It is safe to love, and beneath that was getting to know each other. Energy vampiring may be shocking, or never know when it's coming. It's always a surprise, as the King of Swords reversed is leaning on the truth, or the Page of Swords is, and no longer flirting or showing off post-war. The King of Swords reversed with the glass slipper. They found the perfect fit, or their child stole the shoes that didn't belong to them, but don't they look perfect on my feet? At least they're no longer cutting or showing off their body and being too revealing. In the war between father and child, or the King of Swords reversed and the Page of Swords upright. Or the King of Swords reversed may be lying about a message post-war, and pride comes up here with 19, which is the sun, and beneath it a green environment, or 44, the mastering of self and allowing yourself to receive love. Perhaps they choked after the war, drained by kids or pets or Leo or ego getting the best of them, afraid to call the game. Tempted by the Holy Grail, dumping a load, broke up or emotionally overwhelmed, purging or sweating it out, the magician with tools to come clean or help clean up. Perhaps they're not sharing the inequity after death, or dead tired at home, or tired of home and or stability. The dark cello music expressing lack of balance or lack of fairness, unable to surrender pride with grubby little hands everywhere, with Gemini and Virgo upright but Scorpio reversed. At 8:31, which is the Strength card of the dance and the 31 of the Five of Wands, which can be conflict but also could be the pursuit of happiness. The home and union, grounding and integrating, the King of Swords reversed without peace, post-War of the Roses, and ego death. The underlying energies here is dumping a load to get over self and secret passion, rejection, and vulnerability. Going forward after this read is the defenselessness to the energies or attacks, the Page of Pentacles reversed, in need of opportunity or an invitation, or clinging and dead tired of separation or heartbreak, in a breakup or without affection. The Queen of Wands reversed, offering a big opportunity to insecure, dependent, or unable to manifest and feeling powerless, with an issue at work and looking back at dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, and taking a load off or hurting oneself, so they had to take a load off, or a confession here at 8:39, which is the dance, manifesting dreams, and the Knight of Cups. In the recent past is the Five of Cups reversed, getting over loss, sharing, or settling out. With the Knight of Cups reversed, brown noser, jealous, moody, and or rejected after received big love offer from the King of Swords reversed, Cancer, or a gift of a car, or a trip starting up, or a fight with the Emperor, or on a quest for control. In a heated exchange or debate, not telling their true feelings or causing delays, The Ten of Pentacles reversed, loss or dysfunction, offering big love to detox chaos, codependency, and or addiction, or draining kids, or getting burned, or over-radiated and settling out. The foundation here is the Four of Wands, the home, upright, or the union, offering time, money, and effort, or a new life, to the Knight of Swords, or a great offer on the house, and I'll take it. The sister, or suffering in silence over third party, or bad influences and overindulgers, or social distancing, or trying to end the nightmare by paying them off. The central energy here is the solar deity reversed, being drained and in need of sun and energy, the Emperor running out of options, with the Queen of Wands reversed, letting the Page of Wands back in and excited about it, or the Queen of Wands reversed is the Page of Wands that after they let him back in, the house, and excited, but challenged by the King of Wands reversed with their back to them. The Queen of Cups is reversed and sad, with no call or too drained emotionally to call or make an announcement, or emotionally unavailable. Or Aquarius may be lying, cheating, or stealing, or running away. Or the Queen of Cups reversed is an Aquarius, cheating with a Scorpio or dark night under the radar. Or feeling like a failure in the end, like stealing from a baby. Detoxing a connection in a twist of fate, with Leo, Libra, and Capricorn reversed here, and Aquarius both upright and reversed. Aries upright and Scorpio upright here. Longing for the past, or lost love, or pictures of kids. The Queen of Pentacles upright with Capricorn in chart, connecting with Libra reversed, with a message to Hermit to shed light for the King of Cups, or on the King of Cups, whistleblower. On the Knight of Wands, rushing in on behalf of the King of Wands reversed, fallen angel, or losing their patience and on guard, or the wounded warrior who is. Or a father and child, or two brothers up to no good, perhaps a tag team here, at 8:57, the dance of the Three of Swords, heartbreak and separation or disappointment. And then 58 is the Four of Swords, either breaking or resting or meditating or praying, or the 5D connection. At the present moment, the twin flames reversed without an option or unable to implement the path they chose right now, the Knight of Wands rushing back after a breakup ×2, and a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange with fallen angel, or lost patience, losing patience, or temper at home or in union. The Queen of Cups reversed with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, perhaps lost their twin and family, or no affection from lover or family, business, or community, or world at large. Or their false twin here, ×2. Maybe someone had two relationships they thought were their twin, with a sudden realization of the Hermit missing their flame, who they really miss. This also can be false twins where they're actually really twins, like twin siblings. There could be an energy with twin siblings here that someone's dealing with as well. But the Hermit missing their flame, and the Queen of Pentacles longing for their soulmate, their twin connection, and the King of Pentacles working hard as Atlas and the weight in the world, hanging out trying to see a new perspective with a judge or justice and or in a divorce, with Virgo upright, Capricorn or Pisces upright, and Libra upright right here. The Hermit missing their flame, willing to offer a new life or pay out in a divorce, conflicted by lies, a split, and spying, and juggling with the Hermit, shedding light on the show of the Two of Cups lovers, and the Hermit letting go to fix or make amends with the Queen of Pentacles upright, at home or in union, without romantic tie, and looking back, trying to ground and integrate an offer of love that was ignored. The Queen of Pentacles third party through work, looking back, or issues at work from the past, and soon is the Ten of Swords upright, ending the pain or painful end and betrayal, or a pain in the ass, defenseless to the star. Aquarius or dreams at night with secret passion, and the Knight of Pentacles offering to help, to divorce, or of a spiritual nature, with the King of Cups losing their patience or losing patience, with the Page of Cups message, child or puppy love, and Justice of the Ten of Cups reversed, unhappy or cycle that's finally over, and the Knight of Pentacles offering services or to pay for spiritual services and or divorce. Cancer is upright and Libra is upright here. Pisces, Taurus, and Sag are reversed. Could be a twin Knight of Pentacles here too. There's two Knights of Pentacles, so they could be literal twins like siblings, but they could be the twins as well. Perhaps offering help on two sides of a divorce. These could be also kids, one helping the mom, one helping the dad, or trying to get them back together, or to end a cycle. Or losing patience coming between the King of Cups and the Page of Cups. So perhaps losing your patience, or actually someone losing patience, maybe what's coming between a father and their child. And then we have the twin flames seeing themselves as the Knight of Cups reversed, perhaps feeling moody or getting over loss and regret of the King of Wands reversed, reaping rewards of sudden events, epiphanies, and or sexual exchange, with the wounded warrior on guard, heartbroken in great pain, walking away from what's not working, and the Page of Swords spreading the word or stepping up to the plate, with Scorpio upright, air and fire, heart-to-heart conversations, and let your friends help. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the King of Cups frustrated and trapped with the world upside down, or the Divine Feminine in 5D being strong, or Pisces reversed walking the dog, and Leo's upright here. The block here being in that the dog could be Leo, really happy that the child's finally going to walk them. And then the block here is the Ace of Wands reversed, uninspired, not aroused or excited, and they don't understand. The Page of Cups on a break, spreading money they don't have, or spending money they don't have, or sleeping with dependent who spends or is powerless, or meditating but not making any money, or lazy, or perhaps their parents seeing this boyfriend or girlfriend as lazy at 9/21, which is the Hermit and completion of the world. The karmic completion and completion both came up here, like I said, but even more so, follow your dreams. Pushing Sleeping Beauty out of bed, the King of Cups wanting to spend time with child or pet, kicking a boyfriend or friend out, the Page of Wands inspired between the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Found the one, or dumping emotional attachments to the Queen of Swords, speaking to free them, or telling them to take the dog for a walk to free oneself because it feels so good to be out walking. And the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands upright and the King of Wands reversed, who may be losing patience with their victim mentality, or he's the problem here, not the children, or the King of Wands reversed wants the King of Cups out of here if he doesn't get up or help or do something. The Page of Wands is inspired by an offer of love from the past. It sets them free, but the Page of Wands dependent or powerless or can't afford the other's spending habits, or is overworked, or it's not working out. And the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower is carrying the weight of the world and dumping the wounded warrior, right? Leaving that part of themselves behind in an offer of a new life in a breakthrough. The Queen of Wands reversed with unhappy family, and the Queen of Pentacles upright hanging out sharing, while grounding and integrating and mastering, or GIM, or the gym, in the union rejection by the King of Cups, getting over the loss and regret, in need of sunshine, and challenged by the King of Wands reversed betrayal, and frustrated without option, with no new passion, no twin flame, and the Page of Wands inspired to make a big purchase, but it's not working out, so they're reaping rewards of the heart inside instead, perhaps, leaving the wounded warrior behind, making an offer to manifest or needing to manifest together or with help. Grounding and integrating, getting over it, or a house, home drained or in need of energy or light, with no options at present, and challenged by the King of Wands reversed, tired or retiring, as the Knight of Cups reversed is feeling betrayed by the King of Cups, unable to conceive of the Page of Wands upright and the Sovereign reversed, not working out, and reaping rewards of retirement, leaving work, or the wounded warrior behind for a new life at 9:44, the Hermit and the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving it. So let's pull a few oracle cards to put this all together. So, yeah, I left a mess of Metatron over here. I was trying to find those cards for you guys. So let's pull, while I have Metatron in my hands, why don't I pull a Metatron card for you first? It's 5:10 on my clock. It's 1:29:21 here. 12921. So that's 292 in the middle of two ones. So that might be significant for someone. 12, 9, 12. And then 509 is the Hierophant and the Hermit. But it also could be the 50 of the 10 of Cups and the Hermit. Emotionally fulfilled or happy family. So what comes up from Metatron? Metatron. What is the takeaway from this read today? Oh, there it goes. That one flying like a dart. I want to say not a dart out of lightning. That was weird. A dart out of lightning, like a stroke of lightning, a stroke of genius. Like a dart out of the dark. What is the quote I'm trying to remember? But it's not coming through that way. So we have blue, and this is the mother and mothering, and she came out really short, right? Like out of the blue. Out of the blue. The 29 of being present in the moment, a gift that gets flung in, like in a really kind of harsh way. A gift comes through out of the dark. Being present in the moment, mothering, the gift of mothering, or an actual gift gets thrown your way. And we have signs from spirit here. So here's the birds coming up again, and that could be a phoenix because the phoenix was coming up. And there's that emotional fulfillment. And I've been deciding whether or not to go to Phoenix or not, because my son. That's a Freudian slip. My brother is like my son. He's 6 years younger than me, so I did treat him like my son. He lived with me a little bit when my son was a baby too, so he's kind of like I always get them confused. So anyway, we're talking about Phoenix. So Phoenix rising coming up here is hitting home for me a lot because we're talking about Phoenix. But there definitely watch the birds because there may be signs for you right now for emotional fulfillment, whether it just makes you feel really good to get these messages, or it may be a good sign for a happy family here. And again, this is a mothering energy coming through here. See the mother and the 29 of being present, very present in the moment, mastering yourself and your gifts, and watching the birds as well. The bird watcher, that could be my grandmother coming through. My mom's mom was a bird watcher. And very interesting because I've never had her come through before. Maybe I thought she might have before, but I haven't had anything really direct from her in a long time. But one of the many, many years, probably like 30 years ago, my next door neighbor was very spiritual. She would take me to meditation groups now and then. I went to a meditation group with her, and I brought this up before, but there were probably a group of 15 people for this woman who was channeling, and she channeled for like an hour and a half. And at the end, she allows like 3 people to ask an angel spirit to come through to ask a question. And in this group of about 15 people, there were 3 Evelyns besides myself, which is really weird. And the channel's name was Evelyn. And I got to be one of the people asking a question at the end to our angels, and it was my yaya, or my mom's mother, that came through at that time. So it's interesting that's coming through now, and she's the bird watcher. Okay, so then we also have detach from the drama, the 37 of the King of Cups, and look up. Right? This is all about unconditional love. That means unconditionally love yourself as well. And this could be a message from your mother. Okay? And the message I got that day, 30 years ago, when I got to ask a question, is my grandmother basically said to me, first they came through like was so my grandmother, like what she would have been doing, because she was a nervous Nelly, and she was also like a militant do-gooder. But she said, you are lovable. So know that you are lovable. And, because I had a hard time with my mom. My mom had a bad temper, so she was coming through for me in that respect. And then we have the new dawn here. Welcome yourself back in that high vibration as the sun comes up every day. It's a reset for a whole new start every day. But this is also coming up after 11/11. There was some big reset that happened. My clock went out today. There's definitely a reset here. And a new dawn, the age of Aquarius. Interesting here. So the bottom of this deck here is creation. So there's the awakening of the collective, the flower of life, and the abundance of the mother, of Gaia, and expansion in your life. And then we have duality, but it's reversed here. It's supposed to be this way, but Okay, so we have the duality and balance needed, but it was reversed. So coming back into balance, the King of Wands specifically, as the collective awakens here. And that's the Empress energy, or just of abundance, and the planet as well. So again, the mothering energies of Gaia and the birds, just like my grandmother, who was a bird watcher. And again, loving yourself first. Detach from drama, look up, be the King of Cups. Or perhaps the King of Cups is coming to visit you, and that may be an unexpected visit, because this is a dart out of the blue. Something that comes in really sharply out of the blue. But it's like a wake up. It's like a sharp wake up. That's what I'm getting. I'm going to pull from the Animal Spirit deck. Let's see what else comes up. Because boy, did that card dart across. It's like really, it reminds me of that flash of light, like a shaving of something, how you slice something really finely. You know, like lightning would do, or laser shavings. Maybe someone, will cut themselves shaving, literally. But this is about mothering coming through. Okay. I'm getting indigo mother and the red robin. So red robin might be coming up the place. And what's coming up from the animals? Oh, a couple came up here. All right, so the golden egg came up with the fire ants, right? And that's where everyone wants to come and see what's going on. Was it a car accident? Was it a boxing match? Or was it the beautiful star that everybody wants a piece of, right? It's very 3D energy there. But the golden egg is the heart chakra, right? It's about the child within. And here's the little bunny who's really scared. They're scared of everything. And of course, they're going to be really scared in a crowd like this. And so someone might have just hatched from this egg. Someone's coming to see the new child or the new pet, perhaps. And we just had a baby. So our baby was born on the morning of the 10th. So let's see what's coming up with these three here. Everybody rushing in to see what all could see. So we had a birth on the morning of the 10th, and then found out today that my other niece who's pregnant got sick, what, along with my brother and her daughter as well. So we had some of those creep up. And so now someone might be paranoid about being around people. That could be as well. And then here we have the raccoon by themselves, right? Feeling sad and lonely, not even interested in digging through the trash. It was interesting. It was weird too. Like today was my trash day, and I told you that someone left a dead bird for me in a bag, and like 5 bags tied on purpose on my front steps the other day. And so I had, blessed the little birdie, and I put the bag in the trash can. And the trash was picked up today, but that didn't go in the trash truck. And that's what I feel like this is the energy of the little birdie in the trash can. The sad little raccoon. I mean, I don't know if somebody just found a dead bird and put it in the bag, or if they killed. I hope they didn't kill the little baby. But we have these two guys coming up too, which is the unicorn and the firefly. Right, and this is inspiration, but it's fleeting, whereas the unicorn is very solid, right? They always have their third eye open. This is the energy of the divine feminines as the etheric gate holders for the collective awakening here. And then all of a sudden, some sudden inspiration comes in that you didn't expect out of the blue, right? This is very steady third eye, and then this is something that even the unicorn didn't expect would come in. Everyone's coming to see. Oh, look, and then the bottom of the deck here, let me see if there's anything else that might have come out. No. The bottom of the deck is the mouse, and he's got anxiety too. Like, he's a nervous Nelly, this one. And that's that energy of my little birdie in the trash can. But there's a lot of like little energies here, whether they're children and babies who are nervous because of what they saw going on around them. And here's the bear, the lizard, and the crocodile, right? That's an interesting combination. And the lizard here in this deck gets, they can have really high vibration, but if they're in crowds, it can wipe them out according to this deck, the definition of this card. So they're not good in crowds because it stresses them out really easily. And then we have the bear, the pushy bear, pushing the lizard to meet the crocodile, but maybe they're not ready to meet the crocodile, right? Because they get drained really easy and they get scared or nervous. And this could be a mom who's being too pushy with a new child to meet the crocodile over here. And this could be their father, right? Because they have that same reptile connection here. So, but they don't look exactly alike, but this could be someone who's got traits of both their mother and their father here, okay? So we got the mama bear and the papa bear, and we could be dealing with grandparents here too, right? So there's all sorts of weird things when you're having new babies today, because people don't want you around the babies because they don't want them to get sick. And they also just, in general, don't want a lot of people handling babies when they're just born. But there's this energy of the children being nervous, right? Because we have the bunny here and the mouse and the underlying energy, right? And actually the baby who was born in my family, they have 2 little older brothers who are so cute. And it's like them nervous for the baby to come home. Like, what are we going to do when this little girl comes home? The 2 little boys are so cute. But that's the energy I'm getting from this. And this can also be, the raccoon could be a sibling who feels left out because they're by themselves. And that could be like, if someone's going to the hospital with a child, maybe they had to stay home alone. Or a sibling who feels like they're not going to get attention anymore because of all the babies in the house. Or the younger ones, right? The oldest one. Just give me 1 second. Can I help you? I'm in the middle of doing something. I can't answer the door, but... Oh, we're supporting our promotion. Okay. No, thank you. Sorry about that. People selling stuff, and I wasn't sure if it was someone. It's dark out. I couldn't see who was there. I wasn't sure if it was someone I knew or not. Okay. So anyway, looks like there's someone who feels left out in the cold here, and like I said, it could be an older brother or sister who thinks they're not going to get attention anymore. But I'm kind of curious as to what this inspiration is. I want to pull... Let me pull an energy deck card. What are you trying to tell me regarding the unicorn and the firefly? All right, we have all tied up, and that was me just answering the door. The King of Wands, and then the Sun. So the King of Wands is coming up again, feeling exposed. Or just, again, this is, a sudden exposure to light, which is the same kind of energy as here, right? The unicorn with a sudden exposure to light. the Firefly. And then the need, again, there's the shadow side of appreciation too, coming up. You know, and it could always be seen as too, like just unexpected visitor, right? Something came out of the blue and I couldn't see who it was, and I'm in the middle of videoing and I can't stop this video without shutting it off, and I didn't want to give you a part 2. So, you know, the way we could react to things, you know, maybe I wasn't as patient as I should have been at the door, because it was just, you know, some guys out there selling their stuff that I don't want, but he was very nice. So let's see what else is coming up here. The bottom of the deck with this deck is financial constraints. So again, people struggling to make money. So again, seeing a new perspective that it's not just about them bugging you, but, you know, maybe they're really trying hard to find a way to make money, or even a second income here. You know, with a struggling community here. Taking off the mask. It felt like Halloween, because like I don't get very many visitors. There's no homes across the street from my house, so I don't get a whole lot of stuff coming up the walkway. Okay, so, and again, this King of Wands energy could be a Leo energy, but again, playing games or toying with someone and expecting appreciation after being toyed with. It's not a clear-cut energy right here, right? It feels like everything's exposed, but is it really? Or are there games being played? Or are we playing games with ourselves? The shadow side of the King of Wands. And that could be the feminine side of the King of Wands here. Again, wanting to play games and not get to the point. Right? What is the truth? Like, because we're dealing with sales, right? Sales, they never get to the point because they want it to pull you in, which is a manipulation. And of course, none of us like being manipulated. Unless you're someone who likes to be the devil's advocate and prove to them how right you are and how wrong they are, which is still then a manipulation of ego. So stuff around that coming up all of a sudden. Okay? And let's see what the journey of love has to say. It's already getting long. All right, journey of love. Journey of love. And we have the rings of time. And the 44 is coming up again. It's not the card I would have thought would come up. So we'll have to see what it says. Because this energy is very much about, you know, people in a wheelchair. The person looks like they have a Thoth type head, which is a very intellectual way of viewing life. The scientific mind, the intellectual mind. But also the Phoenix was coming up. But this person can look like a man and a woman at the same time. The rings of time. And it always brings up the rings of the tree as well. So we're going to read that. Let's see what else is coming up with it. The light field, again, feeling stranded in the middle of a 4D bridge, exposed to all the elements with no one to help. The light field of suffering and silence, when you're fully exposed. Perhaps that was me. Again, that's an example of it, of me being fully exposed, because I don't usually get up and put my butt in your face so I can go answer the door. Okay, so feeling it kind of exposed. And then the heart of God, of the 9 of the Hermit, of going within, into the heart. Just give me a second on these cards here. The bottom of the deck is she is the moon. So here's the moon coming up again. That she is the moon. The 21 is completion, putting the power here. And the heart fire again coming up with the unity Christ consciousness coming out in the middle of passion. The one of the magician and she is the moon. I feel like with the Rings of Time card, it's like, you know, like an old person would feel very exposed in the old age home with people changing them and people coming in and out of the rooms. It's like being on the middle of the 4D bridge, exposed to the light, you know, where you have no control over anything. People do with you what they want, right? There's one time where my father I walked in to visit my dad and his diaper was open and he was on the very edge of the bed because they were trying to change his diaper and they left the room. He had his diaper open. He's an old man on the edge of the bed. He could have fallen off the bed. And I waited there for more than 5 minutes, which is not appropriate. And this is what it's making me think of being exposed and not allowing someone dignity or respect. Their privacy, perhaps. Right, which is coming up from someone coming up to the door too, right? It's not their right for you to answer the door. It's your right to have privacy, right? And you can look at that multiple different ways. But again, maybe it's just someone who's trying to make some money, a second job. So it's always there's always another perspective to look at everything, to open your heart to the other person's perspective as well, right? Because in the case of my father being cared for, you know, they're always short-handed. They expect the aides to do so much work, and a lot of times they need another aide to help them move a patient, and there's not always somebody available. It's not an easy thing. Like a lot of it is downtime where they're not doing much, but then when they're needed, you know, there's always too much to do or too many people who are in need of their care. So let's see what it says in the book. I feel like the messages are a little bit convoluted. 44. All right, the 44, the Rings of Time says, divine timing is granted to us as a gift. Sometimes if we want to be further ahead than where we are, that gift can seem like a restriction rather than a generous holding. Much like traffic that moves systematically so that not only one car but many can reach their destination according to a greater harmony and alignment, we are like individual cars that must sometimes accept red lights and other times can flow swiftly through many green lights. It is just this way, this systematic flow of divine energy through human manifestation. Your spiritual maturation is happening perfectly, and there's no need to bother yourself about timing. When doors open, walk through, and when there appear to be no such openings, rest and reflect. The rings of time serve you, beloved. This oracle brings you a message that the divine is completely responsible for the timing of every event, opportunity, and happening of grace in your life. All you need to do is live your life. Everything else is taken care of for you now. This applies to all your plans and the unfolding of all of your relationships. Let it all breathe. Is that what it said? Let it all breathe, and let the divine happen as it will. There's a beautiful silence now as I hold your hands and listen to your eyes across a span of moments called time. There are no words to say as much, nor walls that can confine the wings of our feelings or the rhythm of our eyes. And it's very much the feeling of, you know, when your parents are in old age home, like, you know, you want to know when it's going to happen, when are things going to change, and that's going to be a long period of time, right, where you're sitting in an old age home. So instead of trying to figure out why, that's when we go within to connect with our higher self so we can find our own happiness and bliss from within, the heart of God, when we feel exposed to the elements. It's the perfect time to go within. I still want to pull another card, which again is wanting to know, right? So it's saying there's still always that curiosity to know more when we just need to go within. So let's take a deep breath. Still going to pull one more card for you guys. This is the animal deck with all the cats. They're kind of falling all over the place. Okay, came right up. And there's a cat. The Princess of Autumn, cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. The tabby cat, a wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or start a more rewarding and uplifting career. So maybe something comes your way that you just really weren't expecting. And then the second card is a bird again, the Seven of Winter, the magpie. Caution will help you avoid the loss of valuables, including non-material resources such as time or peace of mind. Be aware of the results of your actions as well as what others might be doing behind your back. Right? They might be collecting little things. And then we have the penguin. This one wants to be seen too, the king of summer. Warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful, kind of the opposite energy. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise or compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And then we have, from the other deck, we had these three cards of the cat with the crown, the light field of exposure of the magpie stealing things, and then here's the heart of God, of someone trustworthy. The penguin, who speaks directly from the heart. And then we have justice too. That's the last one that wants to be seen, the elephant. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. So again, it can be as simple as someone answering the door. Even if it's not a disagreement per se, it's something that may be irritating to you because you don't feel like answering the door right in the middle of doing a video, right? Especially at this time. It feels like it's 8 o'clock at night. It's so dark out, but it's only 5:30. But to me, it feels late. So we have the hermit here too, which is matching here. The firefly is coming up again. The firefly says, take time for contemplation, to retreat or go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment. The hermit, go within. And there's a butterfly on there too. So there's always room for self-reflection. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. It's getting really long. It's almost 2 hours. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Be patient. Me too. And rise and be loved, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.